Welcome to the Church of Thomas. 10-1609, foster care. I think it's very interesting because one of the things that has been a bone of contention lately is that many people have been trying to remove from the foster care pool of parents and adults that can foster children until they can be adopted or until they are 18. Has been fought about that gay people, lesbians, bis, transsexuals, all should be removed from this pool. Now, something that I'd like to express is that this is a horrible idea. Children need guidance, they need structure, and they need parents, they need people who are adults to care for them. One-on-one, not in group settings. Group settings are a disaster. They are the place of last resort. They are a warehousing until the kid gets to be 18 and is kicked out with no coping skills. My mom used to be a foster parent, and I got to see firsthand how little people would come to us and they would be fearful, and they would be timid, and they would act out, and they would lash out. And Mom would just smother them in love, and in several months, whenever it is that they wound up being moved into another situation that was more permanent for them, they were feeling loved. And they were acting more like whatever it is their normal personality would have been if they hadn't been in this horrible situation. Foster care is a necessary evil. There are obviously people out there that really shouldn't be having children, but it's not up to us to say who it is that should have children. Just because you can make one doesn't mean you should have one. Now, there are people who are childless, who are in the foster system, that are just joyous to be able to have an impact and a small person in their life to take care of. The world seems to think this is wonderful. Well, there's another group of people that also would like to love a little person. And that's the LGBT community. There are not enough foster parents in the United States to take care of the massive influx of people. Small people, slightly older people, teenagers, infants. And because there is a lack, they are warehoused. Now, I've had some people say, well, how do you know that? You grew up in a loving home. Well, yeah, but I have had an ex who did grow up in the foster care system. She became emancipated at 16 because she couldn't handle it anymore. She had an alcoholic parent and was taken from this alcoholic parent to keep her from being killed. She had been raped repeatedly before she was taken away from her parent. But the irony is, then she continued to be raped when she went into this warehousing situation. When you have one den mother, foster parent who is in charge of 30 individuals, you can't watch them all the time. And the older they are, the harder it is to keep the abuse from happening. They are not given individual love or attention. They are basically shuttled to and from school. They have activities they invent themselves, and they were under the watchful eye of this adult. She was scarred very badly because of the situation she was put into. Now, I'm not saying it was worse than the situation she was in to start with, but isn't the whole point that foster care be better than where they were born into? There are a lot of adults out there, single people, parents who have lost children, adults who have never had children but would like them. A lot of these people have huge amounts of love to give. And if we start cutting around the edges going, who is best, who can adopt, who can foster care these small people, then we're depriving the children from an opportunity of living with an adult that cares for them. Now, one of the excuses that's used is that they will be abused. I hate to tell you this, but abusers are 90% of the time people that are their direct blood relatives, male, straight men. Straight women are also in the list, and they still account for a huge number more than anybody could ever blame on the LGBT community. They're not looking at the facts. They are saying, oh, well, it's better if we warehouse them to keep them away from this horrible influence. Horrible influence? Love? Structure? Rules that make sense? Stability? Somebody who cares about them? The next time you have a knee-jerk reaction that says foster care and adoption should only be for straight people who have shown an aptitude for being foster parents, need to think about this, because they're not thinking about the children. They're thinking about their own gut reactions. God bless the whole world, no exceptions. Angel Eliza.